Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Welcome, New Life family and friends. Chris Williams in for Steve Arterburn. I have on the bus with me today Jim Burns.
Great to be with you. I'm just enjoying our conversation so much prior to the broadcast.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun. And Dr. Alice Benton.
Howdy, everybody.
I love it. Say it again.
Howdy, everybody.
I love it.
I'm trying to conceal my Minnesotan.
Do they say howdy in Minnesota, Chris?
I don't know.
What is
I'm
that?
not the expert. Do they
As
say
the
howdy?
current representative, I'm going to say yes on that.
Absolutely. That is so cool. Well, the irony is how warm it's been here in Southern California. We are a far cry from being able to ice fish here. But we do like to fish for wisdom. And the nice thing about that is we have Jim Burns here today who has been pulling out prize fish of wisdom for a very, very long time.
Another way of saying he's an old guy.
Well,
I
would say experienced.
Yes. Yeah.
Experienced.
I went to the doctor the other day and he said, you're doing great for somebody your age. What is that all about?
When they start having to disclaim.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
sad. It's sad. You two don't have that problem, but as you get older, that happens.
Okay, so I have a genuinely serious issue right now, a concern. And as we're getting sucked into news cycles, we've been getting sucked into politicizing, and then the Twitterverse and all of the things out there and the information that we're absorbing. I am seeing less and less true wisdom. Wisdom in the nuance, wisdom in the details. And Jim, you have been at this a while. My concern in the death of wisdom is we become a rudderless and ruthless people as a result of that. I don't want to overstate that, but what is the wisdom that we need to recover and restore and engage in today's world?
Well, I think even the great listeners at New Life are people who are looking for wisdom. Mm-hmm. I really do. And it's hard to discern and navigate it in the midst of just the craziness. I mean, the culture's on fire. So you can look at it either side. I mean, I'm not talking politically. I'm just saying it's a crazy culture right now. Yeah. Even as a parent, how do you navigate because you're getting so many things thrown at you? So I think we do have to find people who can give us wisdom. We have to find the mentors in life. I was talking on another broadcast with you two that Kathy and I weren't raised in Christian homes, and so we had to find mentors. And it was really and mentors aren't just people you sit with knee to knee, face to face. I found mentors in books. I found mentors, on broadcasts. Okay.
Yes.
So I laughed years ago. I was doing with Dr. Dobson on Focus on the Family, and my wife was there, and she said, "We raised our kids with you," kind of a thing.
Yes.
So, I think the wise thing for us to do is find people who we trust. And for me, that's someone who is a person of integrity, more than famous. I want somebody who's integrity. The Bible says where there is integrity, the people are secure. Yes. And I think that I deal with marriages and family and parenting, and I think when parents are people of integrity, their kids will be secure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so integrity has to do more with wisdom than being intelligent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And Alice, just real quickly for you as well, like when you're engaging in the world of social media and the media generation, you bring wisdom. What is the wisdom we need to know?
Well, I had to learn this myself. The more we engage with our children in their digital worlds, the safer we are. And that means becoming a video gamer. It means getting on social media myself so that I can speak my children's language and so that I can meet them there. It adds a big layer of protection.
So you can guide where they're at from a place of knowing and knowledge and intimacy.
And modeling, yep.
That's fantastic. Well, we have wisdom for you here today. Give us a call. And we'd love to get to you, and we will do just that right after this.
I've been struggling with a porn addiction for the last 20 years.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. They're just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. The Everyman's Battle Workshop can help.
I'm 10 years out. It's really changed my whole life with my whole family.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Everyman's Battle Workshop. Now the workshop is coming to Dallas March 5th to the 6th. Don't wait for him to call. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com.
The tools that you guys gave me really has changed me essentially in every way. I'm just so much more of a man that God wanted me to be.
1-800-NEWLIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. Thanks for being with us today. I just want to point out a really important thing, and that thing is your contribution to New Life and what we do here. And that any financial contribution in the month of February, and you will receive Smart Love, How Improving Your Emotional Intelligence Will Transform Your Marriage by Dr. David Stoop and Dr. Jan Stoop. I can tell you from personal experience that being a emotionally stunted novice most of my adult life limited my ability to connect well, and especially love my wife well. So this book will really, really help you come alive and be safer in your relationships. Also, one more thing. If you join Club New Life in the month of February, just a few days left, I'm going to show you a few things. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, you're going to get this really cool tote bag right here. You're going to get a Life Recovery prayer devotional, the Life Recovery Bible, and a journal. And that would be a great gift for yourself, as we are all recovering from something, or it would be an amazing gift for someone who has recently or has been engaging in the recovery process. So just want to let you know what we have going on for you and how you can help us as well. And so with that, we are going to the phones. We're going to Ruby in Pueblo, Colorado, listening on KGFT. Happens to be my home state. And so, Ruby, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm reaching out for help.
Well, let me jump in and pause it right there. I want everyone to hear this, especially myself, is that a person who has a hard time reaching out for help. We were just talking about wisdom. That's the beginning of wisdom right there. So thank you for showing us the way, Ruby. How can we help you?
Well, I've been an addict since I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be 61 here on Saturday. And I've been broken inside and out. I'm a very loving person.
Mm-hmm.
And for being loving, the people, and especially my family, my loved ones, they take my kindness for weakness,
mm-hmm.
and they hurt me. My dad abused me from the age of a young baby to the age of 12.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
And then I got into a relationship with my kid's dad, and he abused me from the age of 16 to the age of 21.
Wow.
So I figured that's the way life is, how people show love. I've been abused sexually, mentally, physically, emotionally. I've been broken.
Yeah. And
that haunted me for a long time.
Yeah. And Ruby, how can we help you? What's the question for us today?
I want to. I serve God. I'm one of God's children. And I want to get off of the drugs.
Yeah.
And it's like, I asked God. God's taken me off of a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
One time he took me off right overnight. But this time, he's telling me when the time is right. Because I live alone now, thank God, because my kids, they broke me. But
Well,
I still love them.
Yeah, well, let us...
I just want to,
Let it,
I want to get off drugs, and I want to live normal.
Yes.
I don't know how to live normal.
Okay, so let us help you with this, all right? So Alice is going to speak some wisdom into you now as I want you to hear closely what she has to share with you.
Oh, sister, we can hear the tears, all those unshed tears right now in your voice. There's so much pain throughout your entire life. I just want to scoop you up out of it and protect you from it. And as God has been responding to your prayer, telling you when the time is right, the time is right now. It's now that the time is right. And you know this. But as you have been struggling with addiction for so long, you're probably going to need some inpatient care for this, rehab care for this. Now, you've got a variety of options, but I want you to consider that one for a period of time so that you can have enough structure and support around you to get clean. Because to become sober, Ruby, we really need a team of people, and it doesn't sound like your family is that team at this point. They're not there for you. It'll be a process of actually connecting with a spiritual family who can provide some of the love and safety that your own family has never been able to do. And I would guess this just goes back generations in your family. Now, if inpatient rehab is overwhelming to you, I want you to get connected right away with a 12-step program in your area and get in with community on a daily basis. You've probably heard 90 meetings in 90 days. That would help you get your feet underneath you, Ruby. So consider those options.
Yeah.
Ruby, I want to go a different direction. I want to be Pastor Jim for a minute. And, we always tease about the shortest verse in the Bible, Ruby, is Jesus wept. And he wept at the death of a friend. And I honestly, as you were talking, imagine Jesus weeping at your pain. Because you're not responsible for that deep pain that happened when you were a child. And he weeps with you. And he loves you. And the scripture has an amazing story where a man said to Jesus, if you are willing. And the words that Jesus said was, I'm willing. And Jesus is standing by you saying, I'm willing. I'm willing to help you get the help that you need. And frankly, Alice said it. You jump in and I'm sure you've tried before, but this is the time. This is the now. And don't do it without God's help, but know that he will never leave you and he'll never forsake you. And truly, minus the love of God and the power of God, this isn't going to happen. We don't want you to go to your grave with all the pain that you have, and it can be released, but you're going to have to get sober first.
So Ruby, as just to reiterate what was being said, is I want you to think about this. You need to get on a new train, right? But that train needs to be on a track with 2 rails, and both of those rails are critically important. One of those rails is going to be your recovery process. And so whether that be 90 meetings in 90 days, those can be both in person and online. And I would, if inpatient treatment is an option for you, that would be your number one option, as Alice has recommended. If not, 90 and 90 would be. I want you to also get out there and seek counsel, seek good therapy. And again, what's nice in today's world is that you want to obviously get someone who has an expertise in childhood trauma and the impacts of that. But with that said, you can go, again, online or in person. So the other rail is going to be a healing process. And this is for all of us who struggle with addiction. Those 2 rails need to be in place, and I've seen it over and over, including my own life, that if one of those rails is not in place, then the train derails. And so if your train derails in your recovery, you want to look at 2 things. Where am I in my healing and growth process, and where am I in my recovery process, and what is lacking, and what's the rail I need to get back on track to head to this new destination of God's promised land of sobriety and recovery. Ruby, what has happened to you is not who you are. And
I am.
Absolutely. So you are precious. You are beyond value. And I am so sorry. The three of us, our hearts break with you today. No one was supposed to experience.
And every morning with God, I talk to
I know.
God. He's the one that helps me with everything.
I know. And you are secure in his love. Now we just want to keep encouraging you to go back and discover greater security on earth as it is in heaven through a recovery and healing process. So, Ruby, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for your vulnerability, your heart, and your desire. And we want to honor that today. We're going to send you a Life Recovery Bible, and we're also going to send you a copy of Take Your Life Back. I want you to stay on the line because we can connect you in our call center to a therapist there in your area. And so we'd love to be able to do that for you. Again, if you're listening out there and you're thinking, man, they keep talking about getting into therapy. And what is this thing called therapy? And can it help me or can it benefit me? Obviously, I'm a little bit biased. It's what I do for a living. But like the Hair Club for Men, I am also a customer. So I am a participant and receiver of therapy, and the difference that it has made in my life is immeasurable. So I'm a deep advocate for it. So we can help you here at New Life. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That number right there will connect you to our call center, who can connect you to a therapist in your area, including our resources. So with that, let's go back to the phones. We're going to Justin in North Platte, Nebraska. There's some good fly fishing over there. Wow. Yeah. So
you would know.
Yes, I love it over there. So, Justin, are you there?
Yes.
All right, Justin, talk to me, man. What do you got going on?
Well, so I've got one of my close friends. I mean, he's close enough that we were kind of like brothers, and he's been struggling for a lot of years with alcoholism, and it's taken his marriage away from him. He can only see his kids with under supervision with his parents. He's 40. Let's see, he'd be 46 and still lives at home. Man, and a lot of it is, I think, is his folks are afraid to kind of let him out of their grips, I should say, But I've tried to help him for a lot of years. He's been to treatment twice. I've put him to working for me. And we had a little disagreement because he had alcohol in one of my company vehicles. So that was a little stressful situation there. And then this last time I found him another job with another friend of mine, and the same thing kind of happened. He had been drinking excessively on the job, which it kind of, so that really hurt me a little bit. So I confronted him about that, and things got a little heated, and I tried. I told him, I says, now I will take you wherever you need to go for treatment. Personally, I will get you there. I will support you. And and he gave me the story. Well, I think I can do it on my own. This and that, and I finally tried that tough love. I call it tough love. When I said, the next time you call me, I want you to call me and say, I'm ready to go to treatment. Or, whatever. I wanted that. So, and I haven't heard from him since September.
So, Justin, I'm gonna insert a question here, Justin. Who does he remind you of in your family?
In my family?
Yes.
I guess a lot of myself, I think, because, growing up and as we were younger in college and after college, I was lucky enough, I should say, that once I found my wife, I really didn't. I got away from the alcohol, I should say. It didn't take control of my life.
Yeah. So Justin, what's the question for us today? How can we help you?
Well, so my question is so at the stage I'm at now, where we haven't spoken,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what would be your advice on? Because it eats on me every day.
Yeah.
What should my next step be? You know, do I wait it out, or what? I mean, what do you do?
Well, yeah,
in a situation like that?
we're gonna head to the break here pretty soon. Here, you hear the music, but we're gonna give you some great advice coming back from that. But yes, what do we do when someone we love has been overtaken by their addiction and taken them out? Very painful situation, but we'll be right back to give you guidance right after this.
My husband was involved with a pornography addiction.
He was unfaithful. I called the wedding off. He stepped out on the marriage and ended up having a child.
The Restore Workshop is designed for a woman dealing with a man's sexual addiction issues.
My husband is a recovering sex addict. There were strip clubs, other ladies.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Workshop will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
Restore has empowered me and has given me the tools to work through my anger, work through my pain, work through my confusion, and help me realize that I am worthy.
Being here and being surrounded by people who get it has given me my power back.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Southern California February 25th to the 27th. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go online to newlife.com.
Thank you, Restore. You have changed my life forever.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You are a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. We're talking with Justin, and Justin, we were just talking about how much we love your heart. We just love that you're really concerned and serving and loving and going after your friend in a very difficult situation. I think the question, if I could summarize it this way, is what do I do when I desperately want to help a desperate person who desperately doesn't want the help?
Right.
That's a painful situation. Yeah. Jim, what do you think?
Well, there's a phrase that I hear in recovery. It's a phrase I use when I'm talking to parents is you can't want it more than they want it. And because of the incredible love that, Justin, you have for your friend, and frankly, the parents are making some decisions because he's still living with them. That's interesting at 40 some years old.
And I see that as like they're not like doing what I did. I mean,
right.
I don't know. Maybe they're an enabler. I kind of see.
Sure.
They're just trying to take care of him as the person.
Yeah, I mean that's the odds. But again, you can't want it more than they want it. You used the word tough love. So you show love, but again, he has to live out. He's living out the consequences of some poor choices. And I understand the power of addiction and the depth, and both Chris and Alice can speak to that. But my point is really, you can't help him until he's ready for help. And so you said, don't call me until you want help. Now, again, I think that's almost an intervention type conversation. That's a good conversation. At the same time, to reach out and just say, hey, I'm just thinking about you, love you much, hope you're doing okay, might be beneficial, but at the same time, until he reaches out for help, and he knows, even when you say, I love you, things like that. I always say about people, they have this one question, even though they know that they're violating the values that you have, say, is, do you still love me? And so he needs to know that you're still thinking about him, still praying for him, still, showing love. But at the same time, you can't want it more than he wants it. And we want to do that with any friend who's, making poor choices.
Well, and to that point, Jim, it's like you hear the term, I'll love you to death. No, I'll love you to life. I will not love you to death.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is hard. I mean, I put myself, I have adult children. And if if my adult children, if they were in that case, I would want to take care of them, and I would want to pay for more treatment, and I don't want them to be, I'm afraid they'd go homeless or things like that. Totally understand that.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
yet that's loving them to death, not to life.
Yes. Yeah.
So sometimes the best way we can
you say that, and I'm afraid that. So what? I guess what hurts me the most is in the back of my head, I'm afraid that next phone call, it's going to be the grim phone call of your friend and brother has passed away.
Yes, yes. So I want to address that, but I want Alice to share with you first.
Well, Justin, sometimes we do too much to help a person. And just like you pointed out, you can see it with his parents that they may be enabling him and endangering themselves and their household, just as he endangered your company and then your friend's company.
Right.
And backing away, even though there is such risk, he may pass away from his addiction. That is a potential and frightening reality. But when we do too much for a person who is still choosing addiction, it does tend to help keep them stuck rather than getting them out of it. So during this time when he's not reaching out to you, I want you to do some introspection, because there's some other reason why it's eating you up every single day, like you said, and there may be some codependency on your part where you have to make things better for him, even when he doesn't want it. And so doing some look at what about your history is leading you to caretake this man to your own detriment to this extent. It's love. It certainly is, but it's something in addition to love.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Justin, these are very, very scary and heart-wrenching situations. We were talking at the beginning of the show about wisdom and about mentors, and one of my writing mentors, meaning that I read his stuff, never met him personally, but definitely a mentor of mine, a guy by the name of Henry Nouwen, who's a priest. And later on in his life, who lived both a pained life but an unbelievably faithful life, is that in his journals they found this line. He says, I've discovered at the end of my life most of prayer is grieving. I don't like that, but I find it incredibly true, because so much of where we get stuck is our natural tendency and strong tendency to avoid grief. That phone call is more of a reality than we would like to admit because of the life-threatening condition that your friend is in. And so the letting go process and why it's so difficult is because we have to then enter into the grieving process. We have to let him go. And so that loss is real, and you need care around that. You need comfort around that. But you also need your life to move forward in the midst of it all at the same time. And so I just want to invite you into that grief process and to discover some care around that. And things like Celebrate Recovery, other life recovery groups, and other people going through it, getting into an Al-Anon group. All of those recovery groups help us share our grief together as we walk through it. That gives us strength. So,
Justin, my emotions were dictated by what the people around me were doing, out of my love and care for them, but they had too much control over my happiness and my contentedness when they were making poor choices. And I had to enter into CODA groups, and I had to figure out what I could do to maintain my serenity no matter what the people around me were doing, because then I can make choices, not reacting, but acting, and I could safeguard my serenity. And you need some of that too.
So Justin, we're going to send you a copy of Understanding and Loving a Person with Alcohol and Drug Addiction, and that will be a great starting resource for you. Thank you for calling.
I'm 433 pounds.
How long have you weighed that much?
I've probably been over 300 at least 15, 20 years.
Does this sound like your story? It doesn't have to. The weight we carry on the outside is often a result of the burdens we carry on the inside. If you want to reduce your inner burden, New Life's Lose It for Life Extensive can help. The Extensive features a one-day Zoom session presented by Steve Arterburn on Saturday, March 19th, plus 5 weeks of aftercare that include a weekly group session led by your credentialed New Life Network counselor, 5 on-demand training sessions from Steve Arterburn and fitness expert Michelle Spadafora, 3 30-minute private coaching sessions from a nutrition and fitness coach, the Lose It for Life book and workbook, and exercise gear to allow you to start a home fitness routine you'll actually enjoy. If you're finally ready to stop going from diet to diet and begin a comprehensive plan that addresses the psychological, emotional, and spiritual aspects of a healthy life, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the Life Recovery Bible personal size, the 1-year Life Recovery Prayer Devotional, the New Life Journal, a New Life pen and highlighter, and a New Life zipper tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. Glad you're with us today. I'm also glad a person's with me today. It's always a good day when Larry Sonnenberg is with me today. He's also with you today. So what do you have to share with us today?
Well, thank you, Chris. Tomorrow, ladies, is the Restore Workshop. It begins. This is the day. This is your chance, last chance to get into this workshop. And we get a lot of folks that will sign up at the end as workshops get closer. And this is no exception. So please take time right now, pick up the phone, 800-639-5433, and tell them, you know it's getting close, but you got to sign up for this thing. We read testimonies here a lot. And we do that to encourage you. We do that to encourage the folks who support us to know that their money is reaping dividends. And I asked Alice to read this one from a lady that went to a recent Restore workshop.
My life before coming to this workshop was pure chaos. I was cycling in shock. My anger about my husband's undisclosed acting out has been haunting my mind and causing me deep shame and sadness. I could barely function and was experiencing physical and emotional distress. This workshop has been exactly what I needed. It has helped me formulate a plan to empower me as I wait for my husband's disclosure and God's will for my marriage. It has given me a support system. I'm leaving this weekend with compassion for my husband, as his sin is also covered in the blood of Jesus. I'm leaving with a plan for my safety and hope for my future with or without the marriage. If you're considering this workshop, just know that you are worth it. This weekend will provide you help and guidance to make choices for your life.
Ladies, you're going to get all that and more when you go there. And one of the biggest things you're going to get is being in a group that's facilitated by one of our network counselors. And you're going to be with other women who are struggling in similar ways to you, having the heart broken like you did. And you're not going to feel alone anymore. And you can get rid of that shame and the feeling that you caused this. So please, I don't know if begging is the right word, but I'm begging you to really get over that hurdle of thinking you don't need this, and call and sign up today.
And ladies, don't let your anger towards the man who perpetrated this in your life, don't let your anger stop you, because of course he should do something about it, and he should be the first one. But when we carry this inside of us, it affects us and our children, and we pay the price for it. And this weekend will help set you and your children free from that.
You may be divorced already. You might be separated. You might still be living with your husband and doing okay. But whatever the situation, please don't hesitate to call and take advantage of this workshop. Orange County, California. There's still flights available, so give us a call.
Absolutely. Make the decision today. Cross over into that healing process. Don't stay stuck in your pain. With that, we're going to go to Donna in Riverton, Wyoming. Speaking, Jim and I were talking about fly fishing. We mentioned fly fishing. Hey, we keep going to fly fishing spots. Riverton, Wyoming.
Wow,
yeah,
there you go.
It's great.
The river's calling
yes,
you too.
Absolutely. So, Donna, how
lots
you?
Lots of rivers.
Yeah, lots of rivers. Right, beautiful, beautiful country up
lots
there.
Of rivers.
Yes. So Donna.
Yeah, they got a lot of mosquitoes too.
Well, yes.
The question is, are the mosquitoes bigger than the fish?
Some of them.
I was outside of Casper, Wyoming,
debatable.
doing that. And I was
That's
questioning.
debatable.
Yeah.
That's debatable.
Yeah, they sound like helicopters there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you pray for the wind to blow sometimes.
That's right. Well, in Wyoming, it blows a lot up there, so I remember being up there quite a bit. So, well, Donna, how can we help you today?
Well, I'm trying to make this long story shorter. First of all, I have a daughter that's just turned 39. Her dad molested her for 3 years when she was little.
Man.
When she's 3 to 8. Okay, well, he's passed on, and she's got some of that. But so now she was at 8th grade. She started doing drugs and drinking, and I took her everywhere I could find to take her. Psychologists, doctors, neurologists, this, that, and other thing. And so she got to this point to where 5 years ago, she met a guy. She'd gone to jail. My oldest daughter had her 2 kids for a while, but she couldn't handle it. So my parents came from Florida to help me with my grandkids, for 2 of them. And so I'm an over-the-road truck driver. So the thing about that is they help me keep the kids from going into
foster care,
whatever that is, foster care. Yeah. And see, my grandson that I'm talking about has already been in foster care when he was like little, when she was pregnant with my other grandson. So, okay, now dial back to right now. Okay, here around Christmas time, about a year and a half ago, my daughter's boyfriend beat my grandson with a belt and left a big welt. And I told him, don't ever let him do it again. And so here, right after Christmas vacation was almost over, and he took the belt after my grandson again. Well, my grandson's 6'3".
Okay, so hold on. We got to jump in here. What was the direct result of that? Was Child Protective Services called? What happened as a result of this guy's actions towards your grandson?
Nothing.
Okay, so let me ask. So no one called CPS. No one called. No other entities got involved.
Nobody got involved on that point. No.
Okay.
But jump ahead to December, where just last December, right before Christmas vacation was over, he took the belt after my grandson again. Well, they called the law, and they took him to psych ward in the hospital for he could be there for like 5 days.
Okay.
And so Child Protective Services got involved with that, which I was really glad. And then they decided, okay, put him on some meds because he has anger.
Okay,
you
so
beat a dog enough, they're going to bite you.
Yeah, so Donna, because of timing, we want to help you. We get, man, your grandchildren are in a very dangerous situation. Your daughter is in an unhealthy relationship. What's the question for us today?
Okay, I want to know, how do I talk to my daughter, because she's put him in. They had another incident. He's in juvenile hall, and she don't want him back, and I'm going to take him. So I need to know how to take and talk to her, because she's throwing orders around at me, and I'm going to be he's going to be in my custody. So do I talk to her, or do I just say, you know what, you need help, don't bother us?
That's a great question. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Jim?
I wouldn't do it without the help of a moderator. And, a lot of times that's a good counselor, but, you don't want to, you don't have the ability or the tools. You have the love, but you don't have the ability or the tools to work with your daughter who has obviously issues and frankly, your grandson. So I'd get with somebody who knows health. And then you can even go to the, CPS can help you do that. But I would talk with somebody and say, what would be again, going back to a plan, what would be a plan? How do we communicate? What are some of the issues for my daughter and I? Is it better for us to not communicate? Is it better for us to communicate? But get the help from them instead of you deciding. You started really well by calling us, but I honestly think you need face-to-face time with someone who can kind of coach you through this, because this is not easy. It's complicated, as all get out. And I just, appreciate you loving your grandson enough to take him in, but don't do it without having good communication. And again, the way to do that is probably get the coaching that you need with somebody who knows, the exact situation.
Yeah.
Donna, how old is your grandson now? Donna, how old is he now? I ask because if he is a minor, I think you'll also need legal consultation because of the rights that the parents may still maintain.
Yeah.
And so you could get into legal trouble if you don't go about this in the right way. Right. And as Jim pointed out, Child Protective Services can help navigate the gaining perhaps a conservatorship over your grandson. So that depends on his age. And I would also consider writing a letter to your daughter. I think if you don't say anything at all, it will hamper the future potential of reconciliation. But if you write a letter with some truth and a lot of grace to it of your intentions and why you're motivated to do this, reiterating your love for your daughter and your concern for her as well, I think it will serve you in the long run.
So, Donna, you're in a very tough situation, but just to reiterate that, getting legal guidance in these situations is really, really important. You want to reach out to a family law expert and to help navigate what you're going through, and maintaining your own health, maintaining your own sanity through this process is really important. And to that end, we are going to send you a copy of Take Your Life Back. We'll help you understand what's yours and what's not yours, what you can do and what you can't do, but most importantly, protect your greatest asset, and that is you. So, Donna, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for your investment in your daughter, in your children, and most importantly, in God's work in your life. We will be back right after this.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. Again, Chris Williams in studio, Jim Burns, Dr. Alice Benton. And if you give a donation of any amount in the month of February, we're going to give you this book, Smart Love. And we got a lot of dumb love going out there, right? I know I do. So I need to get much smarter in the way I love my life, love my wife, love my kids, love the people around me, and move into God's love. And it's a book about emotional intelligence. And I say emotional intelligence is 3 steps. It's emotional awareness, so I know that I have them, right?
Yes.
Emotional identification. I have language to express it. And then disclosure. I can talk about it.
And most of us don't learn this, and our parents didn't know how to do it or teach us.
Yeah, and man, is it really, really helpful to us. So get Smart Love. It will help you get much smarter in your love and improve pretty much every area of your life, to be really honest about that. So with that said, we want to help improve lives. We're going to talk to Chris in Austin, Texas, listening on KBBW. Chris, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Well, how can we help you today?
Hey, yes. So, excuse me, I got married in 2007, and we had 4 kids and adopted 1, and very tumultuous marriage. We were in the church for quite a while, up until about 2018. We had been going to church 2-3 times a day, and we just had we had a very, it was violent at times, our relationship. And 2018, I had a cognitive distortion operating that I gave into, and I molested my adopted daughter, and I turned myself in law enforcement, and we had a 2-year CPS case dealing with the whole situation. I had to go to therapy. My kids went to therapy. My wife went to therapy. And so I had been separated. I couldn't go back home. I'm finally able to see my kids at visitation, and things are working out. Things are clearing up really, really, really good. Last year, excuse me, I was walking around.
That's okay.
I got involved with somebody else, and I told my wife that I was going to move on. I said, you know what, it's just best if I just we just stay separate and let's focus on the kids. Let's make sure the kids are good. But between our relationship, I was like, you know what, let's just drop it, and I decided to move on with another woman, and so I've been with her for I didn't get a divorce. I just
okay. So what's the question for us today?
Okay, so I've been with this other woman for a year, going on a year and a half, and now my wife is asking me to come back, and I'm really unsure. Biblically, I'm like, well, she's like, well, I forgive you, and we can come back, and we can. But I'm really concerned with, trying to. I'm afraid that the problem's going to start happening again.
Yes. So let me jump in, Chris. Here's what I think. So I'm going to cut to the chase. I don't think you should be with anybody. Right, Jim, you're agreeing with me.
That was what I was going to say.
Right, so
take a break.
So, Jim, why should he not be with anyone right now?
Well, you're too clouded. You're in a relationship with the woman that you're living with right now. That's too it's too clouded in his head. How does he then come back and have a relationship with his wife? I think he just takes a break from these women for a bit. I understand the pain of that and all those issues, but the truth of the matter is he needs to get well, and I'm not sure he's going to get well with either one. At this point.
Wow.
And as time goes on, this is a process. I mean, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And so then you look up, but it just sounds too confusing to me to jump from one to another back and forth.
Yeah. So Jim, Chris, what I would say is this, is that you have been intoxicated with toxic relationships.
Yes.
So you need to detox and start to understand what inside of you has been toxic and how do I heal, how do I grow, so that, to Jim's point, see relationships more clearly. Because that which we don't heal, we will repeat. right? It's just we're constantly on the clock. If we don't do anything different, if we don't be something different, especially, then we will keep showing up to the same relationship with different details over and over and over again.
And Chris, oh brother, you've got some deep deficits that you're trying to fill in the wrong ways. I believe you that you love God, but you know in your life you're picking your own way over and over again, contrary to God's way. And there's some hurt that you're operating out of that needs to be addressed. Otherwise, you will keep treating that hurt and seeking comfort in temptation ways and sinful ways and harmful ways. Now, I'm proud of your humility and everything that you're confessing. You astound me, actually. You do. But you know you got to realign with God. Otherwise, it's going to be destructive for you, your family, this woman that you're with, for everybody that's involved.
So, Chris, here's what we're going to do. We're going to send you 2 resources. We're going to send you Healing is a Choice, and we're going to send you the Emotional Freedom Workbook. In addition to that, I want you to stay in therapy, but I want you to get in with a group of safe, wise, loving men. Yeah. You need to learn how to build non-sexual intimacy in your life. And I'm telling you, on the other side of that, you're going to find more life than you ever dreamed of. And so we really just cheerlead you in that process, encourage you in that. It could take some time, but pursue that. Detox from toxic relationships and see what God's going to do in and through that process. So with that said, we want to go to one more call today. We want to go to Gail in Toms River, New Jersey, watching us on YouTube. Gail, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I hear you well. How are you doing today?
How are you guys? I just wanted to say hello to
Gail.
Miss Alice. Hi, Gail. It's me, Gail from Facebook. Yes, I wanted to call today so badly, and just I have praise and prayer and everything. I just wanted to just tell you guys, your topic today of wisdom is so prophetic to me, because I called a little while ago, and none of you were on. Actually, it was Steve and Dr. Jill and Jackie. But, I had been going through such a really bad situation. God allowed me to really hit rock bottom, and I called in at the time because I'm in a situation where I can listen to you guys every day. So it was like a blessing to me for what I was going through. But I have to tell you, I called in, and when I spoke about my problem, Dr. Jill had given me advice to apologize to the people that I offended, and I was like, I already was like, okay, I'll do that, and I did it, and it was so great that I took her advice, even though I was afraid and scared to death. I did what she said, and it made my situation worse, but it got better because God totally blessed me. A week ago, I had resigned from my job, and it was accepted a week ago, and I was applying for jobs online, and I was like, God, I didn't think I would ever get a job.
Yeah.
And God blessed me with this job. And I'm doing work with children with autism, and I have children that
that's
are
awesome.
autistic.
That's awesome.
And I believe that your advice is so great, and you're godly, and I hear the callers that are calling in today, and my heart breaks for all these people.
Yes, yeah.
Because for my situation, I'm like, God had to put me in like the pit of hell, really, basically, to cut me in my arrogance. I see that.
Gail, forgive me for cutting off. You hear the music. We're about to end the show here. But really, that is wisdom. It's taking knowledge and putting it in action. And that is really where wisdom begins. And thank you for doing that. God is faithful to meet us there. Without wisdom, we are rudderless and ruthless. So we want to be safe and vibrant. And that's where wisdom comes in.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.